Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
You, sir. And Mr. Choby Template. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Tyson Helton, Western Kentucky head football coach, in 13 minutes from right now. Lee Sterling, his best bets at the end of this hour. Mike Triplett in hour 3. We got a ton to do. Glad you're hanging out. We are on Kiffin Watch. I need a Kiffin Watch sounder. Let's get that done.
Like you want to
Kiffin Watch.
Like
Bombs.
just that?
Yeah, just
Okay.
Kiffin Watch. Kiffin Watch. Panda Watch. Take the Panda Watch drop and just replace Panda with Kiffin. That's all I need.
Okay.
That's it. Saints will take on the Falcons Sunday at the Dome, 3:25, coming off the bye. I tell you, team's 2-8, but you go into the bye with a win in a divisional game with Tyler Shough getting his first career win. Vibes are pretty good. I'm not saying great, but considering what it felt like amid that losing streak, to come out of it, have Shough play the way he did, 282 and 2 tuds against Carolina. Now coming home for a game against the Falcons when they're without their starting quarterback, their best receiver. Pretty good. Pretty good. In any event, Ellen took the opportunity when he met with reporters to talk about the bye week with Shough and the two of them being able to work together during that time.
I think it was somewhat normal, but I think it allowed us individually to spend a little bit more time, going through a self-scout and reevaluating everything. And so I think that was good for everyone to kind of step away and see it from their own lens and reevaluate themselves. And so certainly I did a lot of that from an offense perspective. I think a lot of our players obviously did that from an individual perspective. And I thought Monday was a great day. Everyone came back ready to go. We had a kind of a short little practice just to get our guys acclimated back into football. And you can just feel like everyone's ready to go.
So everyone's ready to go, but you don't have everyone that you normally have. Of course, you didn't have Rashid Shaheed in the win against Carolina. He had already been traded to Seattle. Now you don't have Brandon Cooks either. Now, listen, Brandon Cooks had really been a woeful disappointment this year. Same with Devon Vele. We just call it what it is with those two guys. You signed Brandon Cooks to a 2-year, $13 million contract, and on the season, Brandon Cooks for the New Orleans Saints in 10 games played at 19 catches for 165 yards. I mean, not the production you're expecting from a veteran player that you gave that kind of contract to. And you gave up a 4th-round pick for Devon Vele, and on the season he has 6 catches for 54 yards. Further illustration of why Mickey Loomis is arguably the worst general manager in football. He gave up a 4th-round pick for Devon Vele. He signed Brandon Cooks to a multi-year deal, and now has released him midway through the first year of that multi-year deal. But what it means is Tyler Shough is going to be out there without great options, but it's a really good opportunity then to evaluate him. So Shough looked really good against Carolina. He had no Rashid Shaheed, but Chris Olave played a great game. 282, 2 touchdowns for Shough. Now he comes home for his first home game against the Atlanta Falcons. And the Falcons are a bit of an enigma because that team is on a 5-game losing streak. Obviously, Michael Penix being lost for the season, Kirk Cousins starting, that's the big storyline. But defensively, as we talk about this matchup just with Tyler Shough against the Falcons defense, defensively, Atlanta's 6th in the NFL in pass defense, 188 yards a game. Like, their pass defense has been pretty good, which is why it's so odd that last week they go out and play the Carolina Panthers and allow Bryce Young to throw for 448 yards. That's a franchise record for the Carolina Panthers. 448. The Panthers went into that game 30th in the NFL in passing offense. Only 2 teams in the NFL worse than Carolina throwing the football. And Bryce Young goes and throws for 448 against the Falcons. So is it an outlier? Listen, I think part of that could certainly be coming back from the game in Berlin. Remember, they played an overtime game against the Colts in Berlin. Teams that are coming back from overseas and don't have that bye, it's just tough to reacclimate and go play an NFL game. But now that the Falcons have had that week, they're going back to Kirk Cousins, a veteran quarterback. It'll be interesting to see how that looks just functionally for Atlanta. But we're talking defensively here and how that's going to look against Tyler Shough, making his 3rd career start, first home start. How we physically know it's going to look is atrocious because the Saints are going to wear their all-black uniforms, including the black helmets, which are an absolute atrocity. So they're going to look terrible on the field. Like, aesthetically, they'll look terrible. But hopefully, Tyler Shough looks really good throwing the football, even without Shaheed, Cooks. So it'll be Olave, Vele, Tipton. Hat tip, Ross Jackson has a piece up over at LouisianaSports.net. Remember, always free over at LouisianaSports.net. If you look under the Saints section, I think it's on the homepage too. It's how Brandon Cook's release impacts the Saints receiver room. So he runs through all of it. Like, obviously, you're going to lose speed options because you no longer have Rashid Shaheed or Cooks. And then he talks about what the roster looks like. And so he runs through, you've got Dante Pettis, Ronnie Bell, and Jaquan Jackson on the practice squad. They can all help you in special teams as well. Trey Palmer's on IR. Bud Means, Jalen Polk also on IR, not eligible to return this year. So some of that's a little bit of a future play like with Jalen Polk. But if you're just thinking about what could happen in the back half of this season, the one sort of interesting note that that Kellen Moore did talk about was elevating Kevin Austin from the practice squad. Here was more.
Yeah, Kevin's been a really steady player. He's played ball for us, obviously, going back to last year as well. And so Kevin, again, we felt good about Kevin as through this process. Felt like we had some depth. Obviously, at this point, these guys are being called upon, and we're excited about the opportunities that they're going to present. Kevin can do a number of things. He's a physical player. He can do some of the dirty work. He can do some of the blocking. Obviously, he's got good catch radius, and he's had production.
He's a young veteran at 25 years old. I like his size. 6'2", 200 pounds. Like, one of the conversations we've had about Olave, Shaheed, Cooks, a bunch of small receivers. Kevin Austin is 6'2", 200 pounds. You get a bigger target. Devon Vele, who runs 4.47, I'm not sleeping on his speed, but is a bigger-bodied receiver, right? So you're just giving a bigger target, like Kellen Moore said there, wider catch radius, which is all fantastic, should help Tyler Shough. We'll see ultimately who's active on game day, how many targets he'll have. And you got to figure they'll throw the ball to Alvin Kamara. They'll throw the ball to Taysom Hill. They'll throw the ball to Foster Moreau, Juwan Johnson. So who those targets go to is something also worth watching this weekend. But as Kellen Moore said, this is a good bite where he talked about Shough, who's just every day trying to improve.
I think it's just one of those, his leadership builds each week. Each time that he's in front of this group leading the charge, you can sense that. I think that's a great part of this thing. I think practice has been better and better each day. I think you're getting more and more comfortable with it. And now he's starting to, be able to make some of those adjustments here and there and have a great feel for this thing and anticipate what's coming. And I think our guys are building a good rhythm together.
For whatever it's worth, New Orleans has moved all the way to a 2.5-point favorite in this game now. It opened with Atlanta as a small favorite. It's moved, obviously, with the Penix injury. It's moved all the way to New Orleans, 2.5 now. So the 2-8 Saints favored by just under a field goal against the 3-7 Atlanta Falcons, who are on a 5-game losing streak. For whatever it's worth, the ESPN analytics, their matchup predictor gives Atlanta a 55% chance of winning the football game. I think because it's Atlanta, you're going to have a great crowd. Division games are always unpredictable. We saw that. The Saints were pretty miserable starting Tyler Shough, second career start. They went and had a great day and beat Carolina a couple of weeks ago. Carolina turns around and Bryce Young throws for 400 yards against Atlanta. So division games, there's always a degree of unpredictability because of the familiarity with the teams. So Sunday in the Dome, 3:25, we'll get a look at Tyler Shough in his first home game wearing the hideous all-black uniforms. But hopefully his performance looks a lot better than those uniforms. It would be hard for it not to be because those are an absolute atrocity. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. We'll knock out a quick break. When we come back, we'll head up to Bowling Green, Kentucky. The Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Their head coach Tyson Helton is going to join us on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You've been injured in an accident, not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. And most importantly, to remind you right now, Gordon, this is one of the times a year where he loves to give back. During the Christmas season, such a special time where he looks to give back to the communities that have given him and his family so much. I love the bicycle giveaway. That's Gordon's philanthropic outreach during the holidays. Gordon gives away 600 bicycles to less fortunate children across the state of Louisiana. If you want to learn how you can win one of those bicycles, you can go to gordonsbikes.com, gordonsbikes.com. That's gordonsbikes.com. Or you can go to social media and go to @GetGordon and see any of those posts about the bikes, and it tells you how you can enter to win one of them. But again, you go to the website, gordonsbikes.com, if you want to learn more to enter. Merry Christmas from Gordon McKernan. Get Gordon and get it done.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
There's Geis with a run and the goal line in sight. Touchdown Tigers. 47 yards into the end zone for the freshman from Baton Rouge.
The last time the Hilltoppers were in Tiger Stadium, 2015, the good guys won that day, hoping for a good result this weekend as well. But we're excited to have Coach Tyson Helton of the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers join us on the show. And was actually on Western Kentucky's staff that day as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. And Tyson Helton's good enough to join us on the show today. Coach, it's a pleasure. Thanks for the time. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Doing good.
It's our pleasure. You remember anything about that game, that experience coming down to Baton Rouge a decade ago?
I remember it was a monsoon in pregame. There was probably 2 inches of water on that field, and which slowed both teams down. I was actually glad that happened. Like always, LSU is a very talented football team, so I was like, okay, we might slow these guys down a little bit.
As I recall, and I went and checked it, your guy Brandon Doty threw 61 passes that day. Didn't slow down much for the Toppers that day, and it was a crazy game stylistically. But it'll be fun to see your squad back down. 7th year at Western Kentucky. It's such an interesting time too because you've been there really during this transformative period, right? Overseeing the overlap of NIL, portal, and now rev share as well. I'm just curious, have you had to alter your roster building approach with all these changes really in the last 4 years?
Yeah, I think every year is a different year. We've, I feel like we've always been ahead of the game. We've been one step ahead of the posse. When the portal was about to come about, I felt like we were early as far as, I'll give you a great example. We went to FCS and went to Houston Christian and got Bailey Zappi. Nobody was doing that yet. And obviously he goes and breaks 2 NCAA records the following year with us. And now, everybody decided, all right, hey, we're going to be everywhere. It doesn't matter, D2, FCS, high school. And then, NIL comes about. I felt like we were one of the first group of 5 to start an NIL and a strong NIL, and that helped us, put together quality rosters. Then had to embrace kind of the little bit of maybe the Ole Miss approach where, I'm not going to get to develop guys for 2-3 years. It's going to be one season at a time, and you're going to have a third of your group that you're going to develop, but the other guys are probably going to be older guys that are coming in for a year. And like last year, we lost 70% of our production, but was able to put together a good quality, competitive football team this year and having a lot of success. So you just got to be creative. You got to be, stay in front of the posse, and every year's a new year, and we'll be in the same boat at the end of this year, but that's okay. That's what makes it fun.
It is interesting how some coaches embrace it and others maybe push against it. But you've had obviously success. You've been in a bowl every year that you've been there at Western Kentucky, and you're staring down a conference championship game appearance here in a couple of weeks. So I'm curious. You're going to play at Jacksonville State next week, and would be a rematch of last year's conference championship game, and playing for first place in the conference next week. Where this game falls, having to go out of conference on the road at LSU, I understand why these games happen, but are you okay with this happening at this point in the schedule with everything you have on the line still?
Oh, yeah. I think it's great timing. I would rather play in this game now than early in the season when everybody's healthy and pumped up and all those kind of things. And I have tremendous respect as my team towards LSU and Coach Wilson and no Coach Wilson and all those things. But I think for us, it's kind of we get to take a break away from the conference play, and it's almost like a bowl game. You get to go to, man, I've been to Tiger Stadium a lot, and under those lights, there's nothing better. And it's almost kind of like a bowl game atmosphere for our team. And, and it's about winning and competing. And so we love the fact that we get an opportunity to play a great opponent in LSU at a great place in Tiger Stadium. And then we'll come back the next week and go compete and hopefully be in a conference championship, with Jack State. So, and we've had good history. We've had good history this time of year of, I think back to 2019, the same kind of setting. We go to Arkansas and had a big win against Arkansas, or same thing with a Vanderbilt or a Kentucky. So this school has had good history of competing against, really good SEC opponents. And we're just grateful to have that opportunity again.
Tyson Helton's 40-14 in conference during his 7 years now at Western Kentucky. Coach is with us for a few more minutes at Coach_Helton if you want to give him a follow there on Twitter. You do have two Baton Rouge connections that I'd love to pick your brain about. One is George Hart, went to Catholic High, started his career at Arizona State. Now he's a senior for you there who transferred in. I just love a thought on your experience there with George and maybe what we could expect from him this weekend.
I tell you, one of my favorite guys. What a great person. What a great teammate, leader. Such a big part of us and our team and our offense, and a big leader on our offense. And I know he'll be excited to get back and to have this opportunity. And he's such a great guy. It means so much to us. And so I know for sure he's going to be excited to play in this game.
Yeah, no doubt. A guy who's seen the inside of Tiger Stadium quite a bit. He'll be on the other sideline, which will be interesting. The other is Jimmy Lindsey, who I got to know during his year in Baton Rouge, and that year was had to be terrifying for he and his family. But so glad that he's healthy and he's on your staff now as the defensive line coach. I'm curious what Jimmy's meant for your staff here this season there at Western Kentucky.
Yeah, this is the second time that Jimmy's been with me when I first took the job here. Jimmy was with me from the start. He is the best of the best, in my opinion, as a defensive line coach. When you talk to coaching is a fraternity, and if the name Jimmy Lindsey is extremely high up there. Obviously, he was at LSU, and when you talk to Jimmy Lindsey, and I can't thank LSU enough because I have a very close relationship with Jimmy. He said how LSU handled his medical situation and just the administration and the coaching staff and the head coach. And it was first class. And so this will mean a lot to Jimmy to be able to come back and to see everybody. And I know he's very appreciative of what LSU did for him during that time, and I'm also appreciative of that as well, because that was first class of during that time that he was going through. But he's definitely one of the greats, and so I'm just excited to have him back on the staff with us.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome to see him Saturday night. A couple things about the game, Coach. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but it looks like Michael Van Buren's probably going to go for LSU if Garrett Nussmeier, who's doubtful, misses his second consecutive game. How do you prepare for Michael Van Buren when there just isn't a lot of tape on him this season?
Well, I tell you what, watching him, what stands out, man, playmaker. He can create plays. Very, very athletic. A good passer. He's elusive, and so he is a good football player, man. And he's definitely going to be a challenge for us to deal with, as is the rest of the offense. But he's fun to watch, and watching him play last week, and you could tell he was a guy. He's an experienced guy that's going to continue to do good things. So he's definitely. I don't think. Sometimes when you have the next guy up, and Nussmeier's a really good player, but I can see this guy doing some really big things. So he will definitely be a challenge for us for sure.
Under center for you, I know McAvoy had the shoulder injuries. Is he out, Coach? Is it going to be Tisdale on Saturday?
It will be Rodney. Maverick is healthy now. Rodney's done a really good job for us since he's been starting, and he's 3-0 and has a really bright future. And so he's earned the right to continue to be the starter, and Mav's been awesome. And so I'm just happy we got two good, solid quarterbacks. That's hard to find these days. And so excited for Rodney. He's still developing in Green, but he's a very talented young man, and I know he'll be excited to get to play under the lights of Tiger Stadium.
Coach, before you go, if your team comes in here and pulls the upset in Baton Rouge, what does that blueprint look like for your squad?
Well, I tell you, like anything, when you play such a really good opponent like LSU, the number one thing is get to the last 5 minutes of the game. Be in it in the last 5 minutes of the game, because that's where it's won. Everything in between there's going to be ups and downs. The obvious is the turnovers are critical. Explosive plays are critical. Field goals don't get it done. You're going to have to find the end zone. We've had good red zone defense this year, so we got to keep LSU out of the end zone. But like anything, we're gonna have to play our best football for sure. But it's about winning, and we intend on coming in there and trying to win that football game. And so I think it's going to be a really good game, and have tremendous respect for LSU, and we'll roll the football out there and see what happens.
You ever put on the big red suit?
No, we got the greatest mascot in the world, though. I'll tell you what, there's nothing like Big Red, man. Everywhere I go, that logo, whether it's at an airport or he is the most recognized individual. I mean, he's more recognized than any of our players or coaches or me. Everybody says go Tops when they see that logo.
I want to see if I can go hunt him down on Saturday on the field, see if they'll let me put on the head or something like that. They're probably not. There's probably got to be like some stipulations, but that would be like you're
going to have a hard time fighting that one. That'd be like me saying, hey, can I pet the tiger?
That would just not be a good idea unless he be really sedated. He's Tyson Helton, head coach of the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Hey, Coach, safe travels. Good luck this weekend and the rest of the way. Can't thank you enough for a few minutes this morning.
Yeah, guys. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. That is Tyson Helton. It's after further review. It's the Thursday edition presented by Decision Critical, and we're glad to have you aboard with us here. Always love telling you about Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. That's the website if you want to check it out, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. Of course, we always talk about access and convenience being the two things primarily that when it comes to healthcare that people seek. And Our Lady of the Lake, with part of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System, the thing that they do such an incredible job of providing through all the standalone hospital, the clinics, the specialty services that they offer, heart health, stroke, pediatrics. Told you many times, my son Drew has been a patient many times and sees some of the specialists over at Our Lady of the Lake. at the Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital right there in Baton Rouge. So check them out online, ololrmc.com/LSU, ololrmc.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar. Okay, it is After Further Review, a Thursday edition. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We'll roll along. Lee Sterling give his best bets of the week coming up here in just a smidge. Stick around here at AFR.
AFR.
It is, in fact, a football Friday tomorrow. Final football Friday for a home game, which means that the Tigers will be over at Renaissance Baton Rouge. It's where LSU moves into before every home game. Of course, they're not going to stay on campus the day before a football game, so they get out. They move into Renaissance Baton Rouge. And highly recommend that you check out Renaissance Baton Rouge as well for whatever event you may have coming up. Because at Renaissance Baton Rouge, with more than 13,000 square feet of meeting space, you can host whatever event that you have planned there. Their ballroom, up to 500 people, boardroom, a dozen people, everything in between. That's what the LSU Tigers do every Friday before home football games. They move into Renaissance Baton Rouge, plenty of guest rooms for the whole team and the staff. And then, of course, big, large ballroom for their team meals and all the team meetings, the individual position group meetings and the little breakout rooms. They can host any event of any size. Right there on Bluebonnet, it's Renaissance Baton Rouge.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
Just a heads up, tomorrow is the last day to register for the 12 Days of Christmas we're doing over at Parish Construction and Roofing. If you haven't heard me talk about it yet, it's real easy, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Nothing roof-related. You don't have to sign up for an inspection or anything. We're just we're teaming with some other businesses and just trying to bless a dozen families this Christmas. So at Parish, we're going to put up $1,000. My buddy Derek Duplessis over at Duplessis Builders is matching the $1,000 donation for that's, by the way, $1,000 for each of the 12 families. So you go to the website parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com, hit the blue bar at the top. You'll see the 12 Days of Christmas right there. But so Parish is putting up $1,000. Duplessis is matching with another $1,000. Chris's Specialty Foods is going to provide Christmas dinner for the 12 families, and Ruckus is going to provide a shoe donation voucher for the 12 families as well. So looking to make Christmas a little brighter for 12 families in our area that could use a little help this Christmas. So tomorrow's the last day to get your nominations in. So if there's someone or a family, maybe it's yourself, who could use a little help, giving their family a brighter Christmas, we're thrilled to be able to do it. So you go to parishbuilt.com. You see the little bar at the top of the homepage there. You fill out the form to enter the 12 Days of Christmas. We'll be announcing our winners in the beginning of December for one winner a day for 12 days. We're excited to be able to do it. All right, it is After Further Review. Glad you're with us. Our Thursday show is presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Let's see. We opened the show today, if you missed it, talking about this report that we had today at LouisianaSports.net. Very candidly, a story that we've been working on for more than 48 hours now. When it was first tipped off that it looked like Lane Kiffin and Keith Carter were going to be meeting on Friday in Oxford, and just working on a lot of the particulars of that meeting, what was going to be discussed. We opened the show today going through that. The long story short is Keith Carter wants some clarity from Lane Kiffin, and Lane Kiffin wants an understanding of what the NIL strategy in this new era of NIL is going to be for Ole Miss that will allow them to continue competing at a high level. Because for all the conversation that everyone's had with Lane Kiffin and his wife being a Florida alum and his son being a high school football player and his daughter being a student at Ole Miss and all the other things, it has become very clear to me that none of those things are going to drive this decision. That this is the son of a football coach who's been a football coach his whole life, and he is going to make a decision that's the best place for him to go win. And win championships, plural. And it is being pitched to him, hey, come to LSU, you're 50. Spend 15 years at LSU, win 3-4 championships. Be LSU's version of Nick Saban. That's what's being pitched him here. What can Ole Miss counter with is sort of the answer. And they've been a hot minute since they've won one. You talk about 6 decades. Were they even wearing face masks then? I don't know. This is a program that claims the 03 SEC West Championship. And that's ridiculous. But also, and they've been great over the last 5 years. But Lane's thinking, okay, it's no longer fund the collective and pay players. It's rev share and then true NIL on top of rev share. So how does that work moving forward at Ole Miss, a place where they haven't been able to win? If the power does go back to the Blue Bloods, does that mean Ole Miss regresses as a program in this new era? It's a question that he needs an answer to, and I think that's what they'll sort of sift through in that meeting on Friday, and we'll see if we get any finality out of it. So anyway, if you missed that whole conversation, we'll get up on podcast and YouTube. It's just right at the start of the show today. You can search After Further Review on YouTube or podcast, or if you want just LSU content, search AFR LSU. And if you want Saints, it's AFR Saints on YouTube or podcast. You'll find it all right there. All right, it is After Further Review. All right, Lee Sterling is here in 10 minutes. We'll get Lee's picks for his best bets this coming football weekend. Right now, though, every Thursday, Muse, Paulie, and I tell you 3 things we're keeping an eye on. We call it What to Watch. Let's do it.
Here's what we're watching this football weekend.
All right, Muse, start us off over there. What you got?
I got it, man. So in a weekend of college football kind of void of top 25 matchups, a pretty sneaky game to keep an eye on in the Big 12. 7 p.m. on Fox. That is BYU visiting Cincinnati. 5-2 in the league is BYU. Obviously, is Cincinnati. Obviously, 6-1 is BYU.
What did you say?
I said 5-2 in the league is Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Oh, okay. 6-1 is BYU. If Cincinnati scores this upset at home, it can throw that race into flux. The Bearcats need a little help to get there, but obviously knocking down BYU could make things very interesting in the Big 12.
Number 8, Oklahoma will seek to maintain college football playoff placement against number 23, Missouri. The Sooners will have to slow down FBS leading rusher Ahmad Hardy following his 300-yard rushing game a week ago. Oklahoma coming off that big win against Alabama. Is this a letdown spot for the Sooners? Probably not, because Missouri quarterback Bo Curbula was listed as doubtful on Wednesday. He's missed the past 3 games with a dislocated ankle. Matt Zoller is in line to get another start for the Tigers.
The ACC is probably screwed, but a couple of things to keep an eye on. So Miami is the highest-ranked team in the ACC, but they need help just to get to the ACC championship game. Miami needs to win out, and they need SMU to lose at least once, and then Pitt to beat Georgia Tech this weekend, even have a chance to make the ACC championship game. Then there's, speaking of SMU, they're 7-3. They have a chance to get back to the ACC championship game. Only one of their losses was in conference, so their path to Charlotte, they got to win both their remaining games and have Pitt beat Georgia Tech or Virginia Tech beat Virginia. Don't worry about that. All you got to know is when we're back here Monday talking about the ACC, it's probably still going to be a mess, and there's a real good chance the ACC is going to be left out of the college football playoff.
To the NFL, Chiefs and Colts. I mean, this is interesting and worth watching for the obvious reasons. The Chiefs really need to win. They're 5-5. They're on the outside looking in. Their focus is not even on the division right now. They have lost 2 straight to playoff teams, the Bills and the Broncos. Here come the Colts. Can you get a win, Kansas City?
Patriots and Bengals. Patriots are tied for the best record in the NFL at 9-2. Bengals season is pretty much over, but Joe Burrow back to practice yesterday. Practice fully. Back at practice again today, taking QB1 reps. Flacco taking QB2 reps. All signs pointing to Joe Burrow making a return on Sunday.
Finally got rid of that toe.
He finally got rid of the toe.
He had a toe.
It was a bad toe.
It was a bad toe. But he got rid of the bad toe. Now, no toe.
No toe.
You love the fact that he doesn't have a toe. You hate that he had a toe.
It was a tough scene.
It was a tough scene with the toe. Biggest game of the college football weekend, Oregon, Southern Cal. Game day will be there. USC, everybody's kind of forgot about them out there, but they're 8-2. They beat Oregon this week, Notre Dame next week. They're not Notre Dame, UCLA next week. Sorry, Oregon, UCLA. They're in the college football playoff. So, ton at stake here. Meanwhile, Oregon is 9-1. They got some wiggle room if they lose here and beat Washington next week, but may not be that simple because their best win is that slugfest in the rain against Iowa. I mean, feels like Oregon probably needs this one against Southern Cal. A lot at stake there in Eugene this weekend.
I think USC is going to win that game outright.
I didn't ask your opinion, Muse.
I'm just giving it.
Why don't you wait until Friday when we actually give picks and whatnot?
Well, you're not going to be here on Friday. You're going to be at Don Juan.
I'll be
Shout
here.
out
Yeah,
Don
I'll be
Juan.
here. You doing a show?
Tulane and Temple. Who wants to win the American? Tulane's now the top-ranked group of 5 team. Memphis was that. They lost the same week. UCF was that. They lost the same week. Distraction with John Sumrall, potentially. He called his team out in the media. Tulane.
That's so
all the way up to Sleepy Temple this week, man. Keep an eye on it.
I love that so much. Do we have that soundbite? Get that soundbite.
Of him saying they're an average football team? All right.
Browns, Raiders. Awful game between two awful teams, but the Browns are finally getting what they've been waiting for. Add another name to the list of Browns starting quarterbacks as Shedeur Sanders makes his first NFL start. That'll be the Browns' 42nd starting quarterback since 1999. Sanders was awful in relief for Dylan Gabriel last week. 4 for 16, 47 yards. Will his first start be any better?
42 quarterbacks in 26 years. That's 2 a year. No. It's less than 2 a year. But still, that's insane that you're averaging more than 1 a year.
Yeah.
That's, wow. Shedeur. He goes on the jersey.
Cleveland.
Detroit. So the Lions are taking on the Giants. Last week was a disgusting display offensively for the Giants. 9 points, 13 first downs, and Dan Campbell was calling plays. Ben Johnson was there a year ago. He's now the head coach of Chicago. Dan Campbell took over play calling duties. It didn't go so great. The Lions are a 10.5 point favorite. They fancy themselves a contender. You better be able to go put up points against the Giants, the sorry Giants, this weekend. Keep an eye on that as try to determine who are the actual contenders, because the Rams and Eagles look like they're the class of the NFC right now. All right, there you have it. That's what to watch this football weekend. We're brought to you by Evamore, EVAMOR, Evamore.com, Evamore.com. Hey, look, weather's nasty, or it's kind of hot, cold is what I should say. People are getting a little bit of the crud. You feeling a little under the weather, you got to stay hydrated. It's so important. You want to help your body, your immune system, stay hydrated. Better form of hydration, Evamore. Grab it at great local retailers. I love getting the 4-packs of the 64-ounce bottles. Drink a couple of those a day. I'm telling you, you feel awesome. Stay hydrated. Drink Evamore. EVAMOR. Evamore.com. Evamore.com. All right, y'all. We'll knock out our final break of hour number 2. When we come back, Lee Sterling's here with his best bets of the football weekend. And then Mike Triplett, about 45 minutes from right now. Also, as we've talked about the Lane Kiffin saga, if LSU misses on Kiffin, if Kiffin stays at Ole Miss or whatever, what does LSU do next? I want to get to that in about 17 minutes, but Lee Sterling is next.
After further review.
GLO, glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions at Glow Resources. If, as we head toward 2026, you're putting your budgets together for your business in 2026, awesome time to call Glow Resources. If you're putting your budgets together and you need the right people in your business and you're looking to hire, but you need to be efficient, you want to make sure you nail the hire, because hiring the wrong person costs you money, not only investing resources in the wrong person, but then your business isn't as efficient. There's opportunity costs that are lost. You want your business to be the most efficient, most profitable it can be. Glow Resources can help you find the right people. So start online at GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. That's how you can schedule that consultation and start toward that process of having your business the most efficient by having the right people. It's Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Place your bets, gentlemen.
It's time to head to the window.
Don't gamble it all in one place.
This is Lee Sterling's Best Bets, brought to you by Paramount Sports.
Wrapping up hour number 2, presented by Decision Critical. Check them out at decisioncriticalbr.com, decisioncriticalbr.com. Lee Sterling is with us. How are you, sir?
Good. Funny, I was hearing that ad there about gambling, and it turned out I'm laughing because that's the only thing you can do. So, a good friend of mine, his father passed away, and he literally would gamble 362 days of the year. He took off the day before All-Star game and took off day after All-Star game. His son came to him, and no lie, we had to have an intervention, the three of us, and son said to him, "I think you have a gambling problem." He goes, "Son, I don't have a gambling problem. I got a losing problem."
Yeah, that is. Yeah, it's way better when you win. There's no doubt about that. Let's find some winners this week, man. Hey, let's start with a local team here. Tulane, John Sumrall, maybe a little bit of a distraction this week, but they're an 8.5-point favorite against Temple. Gotta love John Sumrall's energy. What do you think about the Wave and that big number against Temple?
I do too, and normally you look at maybe taking Temple here. They're coming off of a bye. I think they realize they're not winning next week at 5 North Texas. So out in this game, but problem is after they take a couple after their top 15, 20 plays, they just don't have anything left usually in the second half. Tulane, 18th nationally in yards for a tier and 37th in yards.
Oh, we got disconnected there with Lee. We're going to get reconnected here. We'll get back. I think he was saying that he likes Temple with the points, but we'll get Lee reconnected here. A good opportunity for me to remind you about Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Getting closer to the holidays. Christmas time is here. Time a lot of guys like to pop the question. If you're thinking of buying that diamond engagement ring, there's no better place to go than Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Maybe it's not an engagement ring. Maybe it's a Christmas present. Or maybe there's a November, December birthday. Or maybe you're celebrating a promotion. Any reason that you might want a beautiful piece of jewelry. Earrings, necklaces, rings, bracelets, watches, other timepieces. Amazing selection at Lee Michaels with 10 locations. 10 locations all over Louisiana. You could check them out at lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, we have Lee back. Sorry about that, man. It sounds like we can go quickly here. You picked Temple plus the 8.5. Did we lose him again? There he is. There you are. Gotcha.
Yep. Like Tulane, I think the second half they wear out Temple 37-20.
Okay, so Tulane, all right, laying the number. Florida's been an enigma, man, since they fired Billy Napier. Tennessee laying 4 against the Gators, rivalry game. Where do you fall with Florida this week?
It is, and normally you take Florida. I mean, they have owned Tennessee since all the way back when Johnny Majors was there. I mean, it's just been domination. 6-1 the last 7 against the spread in the series. But here's the problem for the Gators defense. Played well for a half. Had nothing in the second half. Had nothing against Kentucky here. I don't even count this Vols game last week against New Mexico State. It was a glorified scrimmage. I think this might be one of the best offenses that Florida faces, and I think Tennessee finally gets the job done. They win in the swamp 34-24.
That is the night game, 6:30 on ABC. Another SEC game. Vandy at Kentucky, big number, but Vandy still staring down the possibility of a playoff. Vandy laying 9.5 against the Wildcats.
So here's what happens. If you're going to take a team that has to win out to get into the college football playoff, they're going to make you pay like 2.5 extra points. I think this line's inflated here.
Okay.
This is where Mark Stoops does his best work. I don't know what he does with his kids the week before these games, but he's 7-2. The last 2 years as a +7 underdog. Kentucky all of a sudden has found a running game with Dante Dowdle and Seth McGowan, over 350 total yards each combined the last 2 games. And the defense, last 2 SEC games held Auburn and Florida to 7 points here. And Vanderbilt, other than Diego Pavia, can't run. Top rushers, last 2 games, 39 and 11 yards here. Vandy escapes 26-24.
Okay. ParamountSports.com, ParamountSports.com. Same thing then with Oklahoma, maybe staring down a playoff berth. It's a big number at 7.5 against Missouri. Maybe inflated there too?
Yeah, I think it is. And you know, Missouri, whenever they're 5-0, 6-0, they're due for a fall. They lose. The pressure's off of them now. You know, they can just have fun. If Texas A&M doesn't complete that comeback last week, the story is Ahmad Hardy gaining 300 yards.
Yes.
So the kid's incredible. Think he's going to be maybe a first or second round pick in the NFL. He's that good. I know the Sooners defense is great, allowing just 2.5 yards per carry. But the Missouri defense, another 3 turnovers last week here. and they've already faced dual threat quarterbacks at Texas A&M and Vandy here. John Mateer's not going to scare them. Wrong team favored. Missouri pulls off the shocker of the weekend here, 24-23.
That would get a lot of people's attention. But, man, we'll see how it all shakes in November. Short on time, elite, giant number for LSU. I don't even know they can score 3 touchdowns, let alone win by 3 touchdowns. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think this young kid playing quarterback, Rodney Tisdale Jr., moving in from Maverick McIver, do a nice job here. You hit the nail on the head here. No Nussmeier. LSU escapes 30-17.
37. Okay, so God, if they scored, I'd be
cover.
I'd be thrilled if they scored 30. Lee. All right, we got less than 60 seconds. I know Saints Falcons is your game of the week. How do people get it?
Just call 800-400-97. Give them the game for free. Also, give them the game tonight. Louisiana Lafayette. But that game's on the 800-400-9741, and check out all the specials. How about this? Including football, we have a UFC card, 5 selections. That's right. I had a losing card last week. It happened often. We won 18 of the last 24. UFC card, 5 selections, $5. Want to make sure. Pulse and a credit card. ParamountSports.com.
ParamountSports.com. ParamountSports.com. Thank you, Lee. Have a great weekend.
Okay.
Be well. That is Lee Sterling. ParamountSports.com. Again, 800-400-9741. We always appreciate Lee's time breaking it down for us. Okay, hour number 3 kicking off right up to SportsCenter, presented by Decision Critical.
AFR.
Love telling you about South Point Volkswagen, airline just north of Highlands, southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. You know, we're getting toward the holidays. A lot of people this time of year love to give a vehicle as a gift. Maybe it's a gift for your son or daughter driving for the first time, and you're thinking, I don't want that vehicle that isn't going to break my budget, but they're going to love to drive. But also I get the peace of mind because of the affordability and the safety. That's a Volkswagen. See, Volkswagens are style, feel, performance of luxury without the cost. You get the great German engineering manufactured right here in the US of A. And because South Point Volkswagen is Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, they'll always give you the best deal. And right now, Sign the Drive is going on. 0 down, 0 to it signing, no first month's payment, no security deposit. Sign your name. You drive away in a brand new vehicle at South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?